Okay. All right, the Rules Committee will come to order again. I hope we are not sick of each other quite yet, because this afternoon we are meeting again to further consider S-Con Res 14, H.R. 4, and the Senate amendment to H.R. 3684. This rule is identical to what we passed out of the committee this morning, aside from one change. We are swapping language from Congresswoman Clark with language from Congressman Case. The impact is essentially the same. It is a commitment to have the House consider the bipartisan infrastructure bill no later than September 27th. And so we, whereas this morning we said we really were going to consider it on the 27th, and we're now going to say we're really going to consider it on the 27th. So let me just say that I appreciate the patience and the flexibility of all of our members as we navigate a solution here. This is the longest, shortest week session I think I've ever experienced. I love you all, but I'm done, and we should move forward and not meet again for a while. But with that, I will turn to our ranking member for any, I think, incredible comments that he would like to make.
I'm afraid to say much of anything, Mr. Chairman. But I'm always happy to see you, and I'm always happy to see my colleagues, and we're always delighted to meet with you. We thought you meant it yesterday. We thought you really meant it this morning, and I'll accept that you really mean it.
Really. There's three reallys.
So I'll just ask the same question. If you said the language was essentially the same, or was the same, what's the difference between this and what we acted on I think 2 hours ago?
So I think this essentially basically puts a rule in place to bring it up on the 27th.
So there's now an absolute commitment that no later than the 27th. Right. Obviously, you could bring it up earlier if you chose, right. But on the 27th, we absolutely will vote on the infrastructure bill at the latest.
Yeah, we really need to do that, yeah.
And you guys have worked this out inside your conference, I assume? So we won't be back again?
We might be here on the 27th.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to be here. I would expect to be here on the 27th.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I've been told by those who want us to really guarantee this vote that they're okay with this.
Okay. Well, we look forward to seeing you in September and working with you and really voting by the 27th. But
okay. All right. I mean, all right. So now I think I'm going to yield to the gentleman from Colorado, Mr. Nagoose, to read.
He's really well practiced in reading this rule.
Yeah. I mean,
He's gotten better
each
time.
I think even though we said yesterday this was your first rule, this technically now is your third rule.
This is my third rule.
And you should know,
When I was told I'd be handling the rule, this isn't what I had in mind. But
you should know it by heart by
hope
now.
springs
Mr.
eternal.
I would ask you, we've teed up Miss Fishbach twice now. I mean, can you assure her she can go down when we pass this rule? And I mean, she's out of the bullpen. We can put her on the mound.
You can go. So, Mr.
Third time's a charm.
If you could read the motion this time with feeling.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah. Third's a magical number, so 7. Though. That's
Chairman,
what worries me.
I move the committee grant H.R. 4, the John R. Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act of 2021, a closed rule. The rule provides 1 hour of debate equally divided and controlled by the chair and ranking minority member of the Committee on the Judiciary or their respective designees. The rule waives all points of order against consideration of the bill. The rule provides that the amendment printed in the Rules Committee report shall be considered as adopted, and the bill as amended shall be considered as read. The rule waives all points of order against provisions in the bill as amended. The rule provides one motion to recommit. The rule provides that the chair of the Committee on the Judiciary may insert in the congressional record such material as he may deem explanatory of H.R. 4 not later than August 24, 2021. The rule provides for consideration of the Senate amendment to H.R. 3684, the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, The rule makes in order a motion offered by the chair of the Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure or his designee that the House concur in the Senate amendment to H.R. 3684. The rule waives all points of order against consideration of the Senate amendment and the motion. The rule provides that the Senate amendment and the motion shall be considered as read. The rule provides 1 hour of debate on the motion equally divided and controlled by the chair and the ranking minority member of the Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure or their designees. The rule provides that on the legislative day of September 27th, 2021, the House shall consider the motion to concur in the Senate amendment to H.R. 3684 if not offered prior to such legislative day. The rule provides that Senate Concurrent Resolution 14 is hereby adopted. The rule provides that Rule 28 shall not apply with respect to the adoption by the House of a concurrent resolution on the budget for fiscal year 2022. Finally, the rule provides that House Resolution 594 and House Resolution 600 are laid on the table.
So you've heard the motion from the gentleman of Colorado. Is there any amendment or discussion? God, I hope not, but yeah, Mr. Cole.
Just quickly, and just for the record, we are voting obviously on the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act. Worth pointing out, we could do exactly the same thing on the infrastructure bill. There's no particular reason to wait to the 27th, is there?
No,
We could put it on the bill. It's not changing. It is what it is.
Right.
So, I'll just say, I kind of wonder why we're waiting to the 27th, because we could do it now. But, that's your choice. I respect that. You're the majority, but I don't understand the reason if we got a guaranteed date and it's not going to change, why we don't just get it done while we're all here. Then you might not have to see us as much or soon
Well,
as
I mean,
September.
there are a lot of reasons why we want to, we want to wait, obviously. I mean, but the deal is that, as you know, the bipartisan bill really wouldn't take effect until October 1st anyway. So, I mean, there's no urgency to do it right now versus when we come back.
There seems to be a great deal of urgency, but
But it won't take effect anyway till October 1st, based on what was written. But before we vote, we haven't heard from anybody else, right? Okay, all right, okay, all right. Okay. Anybody else? All right, where are we? So you've heard, no further discussion. So the vote now is on the motion from the gentleman from Colorado, Mr. Neguse. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. No. In opinion of the chair, the ayes have it.
on that, Mr. Chairman, we request a roll call.
A roll call vote has been requested. Clerk will call the roll.
Mrs. Torres. Mr. Perlmutter.
Aye.
Mr. Perlmutter, aye. Mr. Raskin.
Aye.
Mr. Raskin, aye. Ms. Scanlon. Aye. Ms. Scanlon, aye. Mr. Morelli. Aye. Mr. Morelli, aye. Mr. DeSaulnier.
Aye.
Mr. DeSaulnier, aye. Ms. Ross. Aye. Ms. Ross, aye. Mr. Neguse. Aye. Mr. Neguse, aye. Mr. Cole.
No.
Mr. Cole, no. Mr. Burgess. No. Mr. Burgess, no. Mr. Reschenthaler. Mrs. Fishbach. No. Mrs. Fishbach, no. Mr. Chairman.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, aye.
Clerk report the total.
8 yeas, 3 nays.
The motion is agreed to, and Mr. Neguse will once again carry it for the Democrats.
Well, we're hoping Ms. Fishbach gets an opportunity to debate this bill, and if it truly reaches the floor, she
And
will
I'm
be handling the
told
role
that
for
this
the
will come
Republicans.
up pretty soon. So, you've heard that before.
Yeah.
We just asked, and hopefully we'll get a response before you leave here, but I think they want to get it up as quickly as possible, all right? So with that, without objection, the committee is adjourned, and we'll see you guys later. I hope not. I mean, not late.